Weekly News for this Monday. Thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, where it's Hyundai holidays going on now. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
The final legislative session ends with multiple bills heading to the governor's desk. Senators also adopting a resolution condemning an inappropriate gesture made on session floor. Plus, the latest on the ongoing efforts to reopen the racetrack in Jigo. This after officials inspected the site vacated more than a year ago. And the first group of Marines from Okinawa arriving on Guam. The relocation happening in phases.
Half-a-day, good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Well, outgoing Senator Tom Fisher has decided to step away from the Republican Party. The announcement comes 2 weeks before he finishes out his term in the 37th Guam legislature.
Yeah, Fisher confirming with KUAM he's considering a run for Attorney General. Republican Senator Tom Fisher won't be making a return to the legislature next year, and he's already decided to call it quits, announcing his departure Tuesday from the Republican Party of Guam. The reason?
Well, it was kind of multifaceted, and I'm considering a run for the Attorney General's office, and that is a nonpartisan position. And I think that it would look a little odd if I continued to caucus with and identify with the Republicans or the Democrats.
His decision to consider this elected office comes after his defeat in the senatorial race in November. Fisher, a defense lawyer, says the reason he is considering running for AG is
the legislature just moves at a glacial pace and frequently shows a capacity not to get things accomplished that are necessary to get accomplished on Guam. These are things that the Attorney General can do by not, halting or in any way blocking the movement of another government agency that's acting within their discretion and acting legally.
He also calls out the work, or as he says, lack thereof, from the sitting AG.
We can't continue to wait around for month after year while these procurement actions get jammed up in the AG's office. And I don't think the Attorney General is paying much attention to the current Attorney General. I don't think he's paying attention to his job. Frankly, he's got to go. And if not me, it's got to be somebody else that takes that position.
Well, I think it's self-interest on his part. I'm going to leave it up to the voters.
AG Doug Moylan argues he's been putting in the work.
And now we've got a Department of Corrections that is overcrowded with people that we've protected our community from, essentially. So I disagree with what he's saying. I think that it's in his own self-interest. And I got 2 more years to do a lot of work here.
At least a handful of other local attorneys are considering a run for AG as well, to include former AG candidate Peter Santos.
I'm not in an election mode right now. I'm in a get down and dirty mode. Now you got Tom Fisher jumping in after having lost the senatorial race. And I think that's an indicator of the poor quality of service that he was giving to our community.
Meantime, Senator Fisher gave notices to Speaker Therese Chalahi about his decision to no longer caucus or identify with the GOP, adding, quote, "I've made this decision because I believe it's the best way to keep working for everyone on this island without political distractions." Lawmakers demanding accountability after Senator Will Parkinson's sexually explicit hand gesture made during session back in October.
The freshman senator recusing himself from a vote on a resolution his colleagues adopted condemning his actions. Nevaeh Anderson reports.
Frank Blanche Jr.,
A resolution condemning the inappropriate hand gesture Senator Will Parkinson made on session floor 2 months ago is adopted. But Senator Joanne Brown says it didn't have to be this way.
I don't think it can go by and not be acknowledged. If Senator Parkinson had apologized early on, this would have been a non-issue, at least not an issue that would have gone this far.
But I think what's been most disappointing about this for me is how easy it would have been for the senator to simply say sorry.
Resolution 579 censures Parkinson for the sexually explicit hand gesture multiple witnesses say Parkinson made when Brown spoke in front of the Mayor's Council of Guam in October. It requires that senators conduct themselves in a manner reflecting the highest standards of professionalism and integrity during sessions, and gives the legislature the right to regulate that conduct and discipline a member if appropriate. Senators Roy Kanata and Dwayne Nicholas were the only ones on the floor to vote against it.
Does this trial, does this witch hunt, does this action by our body, is it commensurate to the good that Senator Parkinson does? And I say it doesn't, it's unequal.
As reported, Mayor's Council President Jesse Allig was appalled, outraged, and insulted by Parkinson's behavior. Parkinson deciding not to vote on the resolution.
At this time, I would like to recuse myself as I have not been afforded due process under the court of law.
Ahead of the vote, senators referring to Guam's matriarchal society and the unfortunately common mistreatment of women fueled by toxic masculinity.
Especially on Guam, coming from a matriarchal society. Many of us raised by strong women, worthy of respect. I think it goes without saying that our women deserve that respect.
I just don't want our legislature to be the one that goes down in history and sets this example for the girls and women of Guam, that we turn the other way when this kind of behaviors happen.
This is why I stand in support of this measure, because we need to set an example for not only our women and girls, but for men as they try to find their way to a healthy masculinity.
I will not shy away. I'm not your shy little girl that's going to go, oh, it's okay. We have too many women in this community that are victimized.
In November, Senator Parkinson stated in a response to the resolution, "I don't have time to entertain a political stunt by the Speaker and her cronies," adding this resolution is a farce and the people who signed it are not serious people. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Senators, meanwhile, recessing session until November 30th in anticipation of the governor vetoing any of the items passed overnight.
And one of those measures would stand up an anti-drug task force. Senator Chris Duenas' Bill 250 got enough votes to be sent to the governor's desk. If signed into law, it would establish a multi-agency unified law enforcement group known as MALIC.
The group's mission is to stop drugs from being smuggled and sold on the island. As reported, the number of police officers falls below, if the number of police officers falls below 70% of the ideal 550 level, then MALIC would be authorized to pull resources from some 15 government agencies and law enforcement entities to patrol the streets. Senator Duenas previously saying more law enforcement visibility is critical to keeping criminals off balance.
A vetoed bill that would have required a new hospital be built in Tamuning is shot down on session floor. Bill 185 failed to get enough votes to override the governor's veto. Senators Barnett, Frank Blanche Jr., Joanne Brown, Chris Duenas, Jesse Lujan, Sabina Perez, Tello Taidagui, and Speaker Therese Terlahi voted to pass it. It needed 10 votes for the override.
Vice Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes, William Parkinson, Roy Kanata, and Dwayne Nicholas voted against it, while the other senators were excused. Adelup already starting the process of securing land along Route 15 in Manilao through purchase or eminent domain. Barnett and Senator Tom Fisher had differing opinions ahead of the vote on session floor.
The governor has repeatedly asserted that the legislature has no say in how she spends this money and that we have no authority to question her. So one thing is clear. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero has spent $200 million that was promised to the people of Guam for the new hospital. And she did so without any input from the legislature. So the notion that she now needs the legislature's approval to obligate the remaining $100 million she set aside for the new hospital is yet another example of why we need the governor to be honest with the people of Guam. So, Governor, perhaps you'll find yourself on the naughty list this Christmas.
So it is not for us to complain about a lack of transparency at Adelup when we are, in fact, the ones who caused the problem. They have been transparent, more so, frankly, than they needed to be, because this is an executive decision. Where the hospital is located belongs to the executive branch. How much money we are going to spend on the new hospital is the question for the legislature.
Barnett, who authored the measure, confirms he plans to introduce similar legislation during his second term. Barnett stating, quote, "This is not just a matter of infrastructure. It's about ensuring the health and well-being of our community for generations to come. As we begin this new season, I am fully committed to working alongside the new majority known as the New Republicans, as well as my Democrat colleagues, to make sure the construction of the new hospital is a reality. While there may be differing approaches, I believe that by collaborating with all community stakeholders and the governor, we can find common ground and make the necessary investments to move this important project forward."
The Public Safety and Education Oversight Chair adding, quote, "I am also open to exploring alternative funding mechanisms as suggested by the New Republicans to ensure that we break ground on the new hospital and see it through to completion in a timely and efficient manner. Our shared goal is to improve the standard of our healthcare infrastructure and to enhance access to quality healthcare our people deserve." The Chamorro Land Trust Commission, meanwhile, conducting their first site inspection of the former Jigo Raceway Monday alongside the Guam Motorsports Association. GMA Vice Chair John Birch telling KUAM the site inspection went well, but they notice a lot of overgrowth and vandalism. He says it baffles me to hear that CLTC and certain legislatures were in such rush to shut that place down and had no plan or idea to maintain or to, at minimum, keep the property in the state that they received it in more than a year ago. But he remains hopeful that GMA will get the place open and running once again, and hopes CLTC and its board can work together with GMA to get it done quickly. Birch says 3 GMA members, 4 CLT staff, and 1 board member drove around the property.
GMA identified the areas they are interested in renting, and the CLTC marked concerns with a handheld GPS device. CLTC is expected to create a map based on Monday's measurements and share it with GMA and CLTC commissioners. The lease negotiation subcommittee will have a meeting to determine terms that both the CLTC and GMA can work with. As reported, CLTC is mandated by a public law passed in September to negotiate a lease for all or a portion of the former raceway to GMA with a 90-day deadline that passed on December 10th. CLTC and GMA have had a handful of meetings but have yet to agree on the terms of a lease. A major announcement for Guam today: the Manangan concentration campsite has been designated as a National Historic Landmark.
Incredible announcement, definitely, Des. The Department of the Interior Secretary making that designation. Now the site will have access to various federal grants to aid in preservation, education, and tourism efforts. Guam Delegate James Moylan sharing the news Tuesday afternoon, stating this site personifies both the struggles of our people during the occupation while representing the resiliency of Guam's greatest population. This designation, he says, would place Guam's story in national history books while providing access to resources to ensure the site is maintained for generations to visit and pay respect to. Up next, the Marines have started relocating to Guam from Okinawa.
And Mitsuki takes us on a magical adventure aboard United Airlines fantasy flight to the North Pole. You're watching KUAM.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Island Cancer Center has the only state-of-the-art Halcyon Linear Accelerator, providing radiation treatments in the Asia-Pacific region. We are excited to be back up and running after Typhoon Mauer. We have been providing the highest quality patient-centered care for 14 years and will continue to do so. Why? Because we love what we do. Island Cancer Center, our family treating your family. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 671-646-3363.
Taco Bell Cantina chicken burrito?
I know. What do you need that for? Chicken doesn't have to be flavorless, I guess.
Here we go. It can be tender and slow roasted.
Slow roasted? That sounds lazy to me.
The holidays can be a tough time for the modern chicken eater.
A burrito on what could be Gam Gam's last holiday?
What'd she say?
But don't worry, there's hope for every family. Cantina chicken is winning hearts and mouths across the country. Because a future this delicious can't be ignored for long.
Put it down.
Forgive me, Gam Gam.
A new era of chicken is here to stay.
Welcome back to Primetime. South Korean lawmakers voted over the weekend to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol over his failed attempt to impose martial law in the country. The National Assembly voting 204 in favor and 85 against impeachment, with 3 abstaining and 8 votes ruled invalid. The motion held that Yoon's declaration of martial law was unconstitutional and illegal because there were no signs of national emergency. Yoon also neglecting to follow procedural rules such as notifying the National Assembly ahead of the declaration.
Following the vote, Yoon was immediately suspended from state duties, with Prime Minister Han Duck-soo serving as acting president. The presidential office confirmed to NBC News that Yoon was in the presidential residence, where he will remain until a ruling by the Constitutional Court, which has 6 months to decide whether to uphold the impeachment motion. Yoon is also barred from traveling overseas as he faces investigation on possible rebellion charges.
Well, back here at home, a detachment of approximately 100 logistics support Marines from the 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force have begun relocating from Okinawa to Guam, marking the first phase of a broader realignment effort.
This move follows the joint statement of the Security Consultative Committee issued on July 28th. The military says relocations are being done in phases. The relocation is part of the U.S. and Japan's efforts to strengthen the deterrence and response capabilities of the alliance while minimizing the impact on local communities, including those in Okinawa. The construction of facilities supporting this relocation on Guam has been funded in large part by Japan, with up to $2.8 billion contributed in fiscal year 2008 dollars. Marine Corps Base Camp Blas Naval Base Guam and Andersen Air Force Base will all benefit from these infrastructure developments.
Joint training exercises between the U.S. Marines and Japan's self-defense forces are expected to enhance the alliance's readiness and capabilities. The military is saying these exercises will take place in Guam and the CNMI, with discussions underway to expand training opportunities. Also passed overnight on session, Resolution 472 calling the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs to open a regional office on Guam. Earlier this year, resolution author Teller Taidagui presenting a similar measure at the 2024 Association of Pacific Island Legislatures Conference, where it received unanimous support from Micronesian lawmakers.
Taidagui says, quote, "With this resolution, we are sending a clear message. We stand with our veterans. Their sacrifices demand nothing less than our full support. Establishing a VA office on Guam is not about convenience, it's about justice. Currently, veterans and their families face the staggering financial burdens of having to travel across the Pacific to access essential VA resources in Hawaii." Taidagui urges the Department of Veterans Affairs to act quickly in establishing the regional office.
Well, 32 well-deserving children got the chance to fly to the North Pole last Friday as part of United Airlines' annual fantasy flight.
Mitsuki Hirayama has a recap of the holiday joy.
Viva! Merry Christmas!
Welcome aboard! Dozens of children and family members buckling up for an unforgettable flight from Guam to the North Pole.
We're going to the North Pole. Are you excited? Yes? Overly excited? Overly excited? Me too. I like your hat. We have the same one.
United Airlines' annual fantasy flight taking off Friday at the A.B. Wampat International Airport. Volunteers coming together to make this a Christmas dream come true for 32 children with Make-A-Wish Foundation, CL Titano, and JQ San Miguel Elementary Schools. Santa's elves even making a surprise appearance on the tarmac to wish them safe travels.
You know, the North Pole is really far away, but we're going to use some Christmas magic on this one, and we're going to get you there in about 15 or 20 minutes.
About half an hour later, the children were met with a joyous welcome at the Tees and Maintenance Hangar, transformed by volunteers into a winter wonderland. Among the crowd were the Super American Circus and Pacific Islands clubs Siaheki and Sandy. It's a 34-year tradition at major hubs around the globe and the 10th anniversary locally. Captain Adam Eardley, who has been a pilot with United for 11 years, shares his excitement to celebrate by flying his first fantasy flight with Guam.
I am just so proud. What they do with Fantasy Flight on United Guam here is just absolutely incredible. All the volunteers that put this together, it's such an amazing experience for the kids, and I'm just really proud to be a part of it.
A special holiday show, gift giving, and a greeting from Santa wrapping up the magical experience these children will surely remember. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Now for your world at home.
Here's a view captured of the Christmas display in Hagen.
And the doggies.
For 25 years, Cars Plus has been more than just a place to buy a car. When we opened our doors, our mission was clear: build lasting relationships and ensure every customer drives away with confidence. As a family business, we nurture our employees, passing down values of integrity and respect. We believe that strong values create strong relationships, ensuring that every customer who walks through our doors is treated like family. For 25 years, we've been driven by you and will continue to be for generations to come.
Looking for the best value for your family's connectivity? Save big with GTA's Choice Bundles. Get fast internet, unlimited wireless, entertaining digital TV, and reliable home phone, all in one convenient package. The more services you choose, the more you save. Over $1,000 per year. GTA is the smart choice. For a limited time, bundle internet and wireless and get 3 months of free internet plus a $300 Visa gift card on us. Bundle and save with GTA Choice Bundles.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in the islands? Through all the decades, we know what you love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large one-topping carry-out pizza for just $15.99. You choose your favorite topping: pepperoni, olives, sausage, or any other single topping. Our $15.99 large one-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
When you've got the Starfish on your schedule, you'd better bring your A game. Guam Academy Charter School has fielded sports teams for a few years now, having won the middle school soccer title in their first season in 2022.
We started out with cross country and one sport at a time, and now we're up to 2 to 3 sports every quarter. So I'm really happy that the kids are getting a chance to participate in a variety of activities.
Since then, the school in Tejan has been working hard to develop their athletic program into a brand and a tradition.
Trinity Sanford is our first high school all-star player, so I encourage our younger one with her. You can achieve that if you do work hard.
We also have good sportsmanship with our other counterparts with the other schools as well.
Representing my school is really important to me because, it shows other schools that, GAX is a school that wants to participate in different activities.
I represent a collective of the students, and just being taught makes me feel that Guahan's being more out there.
We just tell our students to try their best and do their best and just have fun.
If you put hard into your academics and to your sport, of course you're going to go further with that. And it opens opportunities to them, so I'm really glad we have it open for them now.
Their enrollment's about 700 strong, with a third of those being high schoolers. And therein lies a big advantage. GAX is encouraging kids to compete as teammates from elementary all the way through their secondary years.
What's wonderful about GAX is they get to compete with high schoolers, our middle school, and our elementary, so that's what makes it beautiful, is just bringing everyone together. Being my second or third year in volleyball, 2 of our girls already made All-Star. And, you know, I'm trying to continue that with middle school.
And there's already been superstition developed that the bowling team uses to get in the right headspace before a match.
I like to argue with Miss Michelle just a bit, you know, to release some stress, you know, because you get kind of nervous being up there. Yeah.
Okay, Coach, does this mean that she's really, really locked in and she gets it?
Yes, I believe most of my players, they like to drive me crazy before the games and practices. So in a way, it gives them that motivation to actually hit the lanes.
The range of athletics available to those wanting to represent their school expands nearly every semester.
I'm really happy we're going to be having a paddling team this year. And we're going to be getting a lot of help from the Paddling Association too, and getting that started.
The mascots even evolved to represent the GAX fighting spirit and their dedication to sportsmanship.
We had a vote with the faculty, staff, and everybody else, and the elementary division is the Starfish, and now the middle school and high school are the Guahan Academy Charter School Stars.
Now, admittedly, the school doesn't have the full range of athletic resources yet, but they don't let this deter them from putting in the work.
And we don't have a gym. So I just work with what we have here, which is I use the stairs to get their running, jumping skills, and then the court outside is what we use to practice.
Physical education is a key part in shaping young minds into responsible, compassionate adults. So look out for GAX as they're going places and grateful for the opportunity to play.
We can have fun and we can enjoy the game, and we can still hang out and talk among each other.
The fact that they are enjoying the sports itself, and they cheer for one another. They boost their self-esteem and they motivate each other when they're running.
In times of uncertainty, trust is what leads the way. The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
Tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by J. Goodman, a happiness company.
Demonstrating the dedication to and concern for all Guamanians, but especially those most in need during the holiday season, the Salvation Army Guam chapter's toy store was filled to the brim this morning.
It is very daunting, and the collection has been great from the community, and we want to thank all our members who participated in it, and the businesses with the Guam Chamber and the community.
A platoon of United States Marines unloaded a 40-foot Matson container with toys and Goodwill items collected around the island for their annual Toys for Tots initiative.
It's always a unique experience getting to help those maybe that may be less fortunate. But as Marines, that's what we do.
And you know, it's a great collaboration with our Marine partners. They have been here. This is I believe our 10th year, 14th year. And so we've been working with them ever since they've come on island. And I think it's a great opportunity for them to engage with the community. They have a foundation, Toys for Tots Foundation, that helps support this as well. And also to our neighbor islands, Rhoda and Tinian. And they will also be sending some toys up to Saipan to help with that program up there.
Servicemen, volunteers, and staffers work side by side, taking the collection of toys for young boys and girls, the size of which would make Santa himself blush.
On behalf of the Salvation Army, I would like to express our utmost gratitude to our community for helping us help others through the initiative of the U.S. Marines Toys for Tots in partnership with the Guam Chamber of Commerce. During this time of joyous season, I would like to greet everyone.
The bounty of colorful stuffed animals, action figures, games, dolls, and playsets will be distributed to little ones who registered for the Salvation Army's program, ensuring no matter the situation, these youngsters get something to call their own, wear a smile, and have a Merry Christmas.
We have a collective amount of toys, starting with the Giving Tuesday initiated by KUAM. And now we have enough toys to distribute to about 1,400 kids who sign up for our annual Toy and Joy event. And these kids comprise of elementary school that we adopted this year, and children of individual and families that they really need help.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by J. Goodman, a happiness company.
All right, get your holiday shopping done at the Nenny Christmas Market. This wonderful event is just in time for the holidays, and it's taking place on December 22nd from 12 to 4 at GPO near Cinnabon. It's a vibrant marketplace for Nenny entrepreneurs to showcase their unique business concept, and they are the cutest things, making their sales pitches, show you their amazing stores. Support them, because they are awesome. All right, Santa Claus. Santa! I know him! All right, that's a great movie, by the way. All right, Maniello is inviting you to join breakfast with jolly old St. Nick on the 28th at Tuman Sands Plaza. Enjoy writing letters to say, hey, me and Santa follow each other on Instagram, all right? Yeah, he's a cool guy. Coloring, hair braiding, photo booths, and so much more. Make sure to get your tickets now. And support nonprofit Equality Guam on Wednesday the 18th. That's this week. You can get gifts wrapped by the group, who will be set up at GPO near Twinkles from 5:30 to closing. Payment by donation. Hey, no shame in your game if you don't know how to wrap presents, right? I do not, so I have the professionals do it. I go to all of the malls, these wonderfully hardworking kids, student groups, always support them, all the schools. Thank you for wrapping my present. I've got like at least 7 for you to do.
Now for your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts.
Which you can submit on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday to Kainoa Kai. Touchdown! You are 10 years old, Kainoa. Dream big this birthday. Reach for the stars and make it a great year. We love you so much, son, says your family. This is coming from Mom, Dad, Malia, Kiyoki, Mila, and the whole family.
That's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Catch Health, Home, and Lifestyle every Tuesday following KUM News Prime Time. We've got you covered with health and lifestyle news each Tuesday on the stations of KUM and our digital streaming platforms. Health, Home, and Lifestyle is brought to you by The Medical City, your trusted partner in health. Hafa Guam, I'm Jason Salas, and welcome to Health, Home, and Lifestyle, where we show you various ways to enjoy life here on the island and how to lead a healthy and happy life. Here's what we have for you this week.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Half a day and happy holidays, everybody, from our family here at House to Home to your family out there, anywhere you're watching this right now, on any device. Liz and Gina and I are very happy to bring you yet another action-packed episode of this. So, ladies, before we get into this week's topic, how are you doing with your Christmas shopping? Gina, you first.
I think I've got like maybe 10 to 12 packages wrapped already, ready to go under the tree. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I'm hiding in different parts of my house so that I could get them wrapped up. So I think I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. Well, Liz, you're basically never on Guam long enough to actually do any shopping and everything, but you're all over the world. So.
Yeah, well, I started for our team. Our family will be stateside for our granddaughter's graduation.
Aw.
So we're going to spend Christmas with the Casimiro family in California. We're going to be in Arizona for her Bria's graduation, and then in California for our Casimiro family reunion.
Arizona or Arizona State? Cool.
Bria's graduating from Arizona State, yeah, and then she's going to go into her master's program.
Hey, Sun Devils are having a really, really good season in football, man. Horns up.
Yeah.
Okay, so transitioning from family graduations and parties and whatnot to a celebration of other we pass along here on the show, as we tell you all the time. And last week we talked about property registration. Gina, we talked about the why and why it's important last week. Now we're talking to you about how to get from point A to point B and some of the mechanics about registering your real estate.
Well, yeah, we talked about the mechanics of getting your property registered, but Liz and I were thinking we should tell you a little bit more in depth about what you should look for in order to make decisions. Because if you're going to register the property, there's a map involved. And if you're going to do the map, then you really should. There's a couple of things we always stress that about you're going to do a map. First of all, we want to encourage the concept that if you have enough land that you can actually, if you're surveyors, and if they don't tell you, ask good questions. Ask your surveyor with this amount of land and the location that it's in and the infrastructure that's available. Or sometimes the infrastructure is not available, but you have enough land, and you could tell your surveyor, look at my map, and before you finalize the registration, let me know there's 9 of us in the family, or 2 or 5 or whatever the number is. Can we each individually have a separate lot? Can you cut this up so we each have a separate lot number that we can say is ours? That would be the first step. And if the surveyor says, yeah, you've got enough land, I could cut this up so each person will get a piece, then I would say, I encourage you, I really, really, really highly recommend that you do it at that point. You tell the surveyor, go ahead and do it. Whether or not you actually each get a piece, at least it's ready for that process, right, Liz?
Mm-hmm. That's right. So going into that, if, for example, you had 10,000 square meters and you had 20 in the family, as Gina puts it, how many parcels can you get? And the key, as Gina put, is the zoning as well, the location. What is allowable in terms of building? Can you build a house with it? What can you do with that piece of property? So, so when they come to us, we look at the map, and then, there's a calculation we do just to see how much. But then, of course, it has to be verified with the surveyor. So to see how many lots are possible within that zone, and what can you do? What's the use based on the zoning? So there are many different ways to look at it, because if it's M1 zone, that's industrial. If it's agriculture, there are limitations. If it's R1 and there's sewer, that could mean you can get more lots if it's an R1 zone and it has sewer in the immediate area. So
this holiday season begins at Kmart, where every aisle is filled with magic. Discover the perfect toy that sparks joy and gifts that bring smiles. Kmart has all the ingredients you need to make your family traditions special without breaking the bank. From trimming the tree to filling your home with holiday cheer, you'll find it all in one place. Discover the magic waiting for you at Kmart, where busy families find everything they need to make memories that last a lifetime. Kmart, for the holidays, for the family, for the magic.
Hey, I got the job. So I can go part-time. Yes!
Some days bring new opportunities. First Hawaiian Bank can help you say yes to making the most of them. Manage your accounts, earn cash back, and when you need advice, we're here for you.
We should really get him into an art program.
No matter where your journeys take you, you can bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Super speed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Good business person like Liz and Gina and any of their colleagues down there at Remax Diamond Realty in the capital of Hagåtña knows that, as a business person, you hope for the best, plan for the worst, but you don't like surprises.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, Gina, bonus question now, like before we end and everything. We were talking about surveyors, right? And I had the great pleasure of emceeing the Guam Industry Forum several weeks back that was over at the Duce. It was a fantastic discussion about the increase in military construction projects that are expected and the bids that have already gone out and the projects that have already been the agreements that have already been contracted out. What does the military do for all of the survey needs that they use? Do they go outside and use private surveyors, or do they have their own?
So that's part of the reason, from what I know, a couple of the surveyors here, 2 of them that I'm aware of, the reason they can't take any more jobs is because they are being utilized on base. But I've also heard, Liz, that they have access to their own surveyors as well. But there's just so much work, not enough people. Even if you have your own team, there's just not enough. It's like contractors. We're short contractors because there is so much work out there, and not enough bodies.
And if you're doing work outside the base, of course, there are guidelines and requirements to have a license, a local licensed surveyor. And if you're an off-island surveyor, you have to comply with whatever those guidelines are. But when you're doing something on base, it's a little different. The military has control over that they could do whatever it is they choose within the confines of the military base.
Of course, yeah. There are regulations and requirements for a residential property. Commercial property is way more complex than that. I mean, you want to talk about like military requirements? Those are really, really big projects that are incredibly complex.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's end on a high note, ladies. Liz, what's a good holiday wish you can give everybody as far as prosperity in the new year?
Well, it's always about love and peace. If you have any gripes or grudges you're holding, get rid of it. It isn't worth it. It's not worth it for you, your health, love and peace.
How about you, Gina? There's no probate for family drama, right? Well, I guess there is.
No,
This we've been talking about.
not at all. But Liz is right. We have a really great community here in Guam, and with everybody pitching in, and even if you just did a little bit and get rid of the negativity, we can really make such a difference here. We have a golden opportunity with all the projects that are going on from the military standpoint. That's fueling our economy. And we really should all put our heads together and come together and really create a great community, because we've got really great people here, and we've got Guam really is a fantastic place to raise your family and live. And I know we can make it so much better. Just a little bit of effort.
Amen. And hopefully, just maybe if we all wish, and lay out some like really good milk. I like almond milk because I'm lactose intolerant. Milk and cookies. Maybe Santa will bring a couple additional surveyors when he drops off his presents this year.
We'll get you some mescla cookies.
Yes. And surveyors.
I just handed out a batch today at the Guam Association of Realtors, so we'll make sure you get some.
Okay, but you heard it here, everybody. And speaking of legally binding contracts, that is one right there. So, all right, ladies, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Jace.
Thanks.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty. House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist. Over 20 years of experience.
This Christmas, get the deal even Santa wouldn't be able to resist. Bring home a free smartwatch or other accessories from IT&E when you get a new phone in December. Plus, enjoy a huge discount on infinite data to keep you connected all year long. Dash in before the 22nd for the chance to win $2,000 in cash and weekly prizes. Visit ite.net for details. IT&E, connections that matter.
In times of uncertainty, trust is what leads the way. The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Clara Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal, part 2. I'm here with Kat Phillips again. Half a day, Kat. Half a day, Claire. Well, it's beautiful that you have been on this journey and being a school teacher and now at Public Defenders, you have been able to see so many different facets of a child's life and seeing, because a lot of people, you know, we don't know what goes on once everyone goes home, leaves work, leaves school, and what they go back to. You know, and you know, because a lot of times we question, you know, whether it's bullying or whatever we see in the school setting.
I mean, it can be something simple as not having enough food, you know, and just the environment. But if we can be where we are now and help like the next generation. Yeah. And so for me, yes, I don't know about, you know, adult drug court and what, although I know it works. I mean, you know, I see the numbers, I see the research, and I see our community members very active in sobriety, and that's amazing. Right. So I know it works, right? Treatment works. But for our moms, the housing, it's like a woman, if you give her a safe, stable home.
What is the mission? I don't know if you said that in the beginning,
yes,
but what is
the
mission?
nonprofit is to be able to provide direct support for women who are ready to be reunified. They're ready with their housing leases, but they don't have the cash on them. I mean, you know, to come up with $1,500 to $2,000 in hand is difficult for most of us in Guam. But if
so, they would just reach out directly to the nonprofit if there's someone in need, or how would
yes, but really, well, so what I think needs to happen is, because they are dealing with court cases in family court, is to preserve the nature and confidentiality, is that the Guam Family Recovery Program would be the first in line in which they can declare that, you know, this woman is ready and has it, and then that would be it. Irenchata can, you know, hopefully just make sure that that need is met through all of our, you know, activity. But we want to be able, I mean, that's just the, like, at the ground right now, because I did see women who were not able to secure housing. I mean, that was just the most heartbreaking thing, because I know that now it's like we didn't break the cycle.
Right. What do you think the community could do to support your mission?
Well, definitely direct support. So as soon as I pick up the certification and we can launch our fundraising, I mean, even by January, if we have even enough cash, which is minimal in this day and age when we're asking, I would think of the first $2,000 would help the first woman, you know, because we don't know when they're going to have their voucher, when the court's going to allow them to, you know, move in and be ready for their children. So just having the identified funds available.
It is the holidays, and for someone like you who has gone through quite a bit, I can't even imagine anything more painful than losing a child. And you know, for those out there who are maybe grieving, especially during the holidays, what has helped you through the years?
Believing in angels. with the birth of Christ, and I hear it. So it's in music, right? It's in friendships, and there's just like one lines that sink into my heart, and then I never forget it. It's remembering my mom and realizing that when I became a mom and when Erentia died, that I was forever going to be her mom. You know, obstacles are just something that's in front of us to show us that we can get through them, and we can learn from, you know, every moment, right? And it's our lives and love that get us through, and then being able to share that love, because back to like what I learned about, and you know, we're here with Viva Santa Maria Camelin, celebrating is that Jesus' love is work, right? And so it's the crew, right? Like, I'll be part of the joyful crew. And I used to want to only be the one endowed. And so I also feel like very much, you know, I was given that break to know what humility really means, in the sense of being humble. And that's all I really, you know, see. You know, proud, yes, but it's our work, and it's Erentia now, but yet definitely humble, because I know who I'm honoring.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you so much. We'll be looking out for it. We're starting, and this is a wonderful way to close this year and open up next year. Thank you, and thank you all. I'll see you next time on your Weekly Renewal.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
For 25 years, Cars Plus has been more than just a place to buy a car. When we opened our doors, our mission was clear: build lasting relationships and ensure every customer drives away with confidence. As a family business, we nurture our employees, passing down values of integrity and respect. We believe that strong values create strong relationships, ensuring that every customer who walks through our doors is treated like family. For 25 years, we've been driven by you and will continue to be for generations to come.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah man, serious food. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah man, serious food. Happy birthday, D-I-R-F-D-A-Y. Jamaican grill, yeah man, serious food.
Health Check is brought to you locally by Island Cancer Center.
All right, half a day and happy holidays, everybody. I'm Jason Salas, and for Health Check this week, you know, I wanted to do a very important topic, and that's why I brought back our good friend, Dr. Judd Dawson. No fancy editing for this one. I just want to sit and talk to dudes about rhabdo. Now, Doc, very good to see you as always. Happy holidays to you.
Very good to see you. Happy holidays, and so glad I'm back.
Yeah, and I wish we were talking about something that's more positive, but rhabdo, as I've come to understand it this year, I mean, I've never heard of it before in my life. 3 times this year, within the last 8 months, 3 friends of mine were hospitalized with it, and these are people who are actually, like, fit. And apparently, it can be lethal, too.
It can be very lethal. So rhabdo is something I'm very familiar with. Having worked inside hospitals exclusively for about a decade, I had the privilege of taking care of a lot of people that had rhabdo. So there's a couple different pathways to rhabdo. One, and that's their short version of rhabdomyolysis is rhabdo. One is the one you're talking about, exercise. So it's common among athletes, especially in high humidity, high temperature areas, if they get dehydrated, and if they increase their training pretty abruptly.
So on Guam, check, 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 check.
Yeah, exactly.
You've hit for the cycle in that regard.
Yeah, I'm surprised you've only had 3, because Guam is really set to have rhabdo happen. And so what happens is, at least as far as we understand, is when you're doing exercise and you overcome the muscle's ability to properly maintain its electrolytes on the internal side of the cell, electrolytes being those salts, the muscle starts to break down. When the muscle starts to break down, it leaks myoglobin into your bloodstream. Myoglobin is a molecule that holds oxygen on it inside your muscles. It's really important for you to be able to have good exercise potential for that myoglobin to be there. On the outside of your muscle, though, it's poisonous to your kidneys, and that's where the problem arises. It starts to injure your kidneys. It can send you into acute kidney failure, and that can even be fatal. So,
because of course the kidneys break down, you're not able to filter anything and everything, and that is kind of like it's not the motor that keeps you going, but I mean kidney is very, very essential.
Exactly. Yeah. Without the kidney, you can't filter out the toxins. you'll eventually end up on dialysis or pass away, unfortunately.
Okay, and like I said, I mean, I respect HIPAA and everything like that, so I'm not going to call anybody out, but 2 people I know that had it, they were exercising, felt really, really sore and really, really bad in the next couple of days, wound up in the hospital. One of my friends who did it actually ran marathons and developed, you know, again, like feeling really, really bad. I don't know if it was a thing about lack of hydration, it was just overexertion, or is it typically a combination of the two?
It's typically a combination. It's actually more common in the more elite athletes. So the more active and the more athletic you are, the more at risk you are, because those people can push through minor discomfort more so than someone who's untrained. The other person that I've historically seen really get it are people going back to football camp in high school right after a summer off. When they're not in as good a shape, they start hitting it. The coaches often punish people with additional exercises, which is one of the things you should avoid if you can. And then they don't drink enough water, and then they end up getting a rhabdo from it. And so just like you were talking about, your friends had muscle soreness for a couple of days. That's one of the warning signs you really need to be aware of.
And it was extreme soreness. It wasn't just like, okay, well, you know, like my quad is hurting and everything like that. I mean, it was legitimate searing pain.
Yeah, so it's pain at rest that's really severe, like really bad muscle soreness. Well, not when you're moving, when you're sitting still. And it's also a change in your urine color to being that dark brown, almost reddish color. Those are the 2 warning signs to really look out for rhabdo. And the upside of rhabdo is it's very preventable by staying hydrated. And if you start to notice symptoms, if you get treated in that first 6 hours, a lot of times you can get fixed up very quickly and not have to have a prolonged hospital stay. And so that's kind of essential. You notice, shucks, I'm sitting still, my legs or whatever you really exercise are really sore. And then your urine changes to a new color that looks more like pee than what you're used to seeing. Get to the hospital, get evaluated by a provider right away. And a lot of times we can make it so that the disease process is shortened by hydrating you up with IVs, managing your electrolytes, taking care of those things.
Okay, now because you're talking about hydration and electrolytes, so should people be drinking like, you know, like the energy drinks, your Gatorades, your, you know, Prime Hydration, like as opposed to like straight water?
So straight water for most of the time. Some of those electrolyte containing fluids as needed. It all depends on how much you're sweating, because just like the commercials say, right, you don't just sweat plain water. And you have to replace those salts in your blood. You can get them in there by making your own concoction using table salt or no salt with the potassium in it and some carbohydrate form, maybe some lemon juice for flavor. You know, sugar salty water with lemon juice flavoring would help if you wanted to do something on the cheap. But it's really important to stay hydrated. Be aware of your routine. Don't up too quickly, especially in the heat. And if you are going to up quickly, because you have to, make sure you maintain your hydration. That's of paramount importance.
It's better to run and have to go take a pee break multiple times when you're training rather than, you know, go to the ER.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so because it's more common in elite athletes, this is all news to me, so this is fascinating, right? And I really appreciate your insight. Do you as a physician tend to see this in people in their lower extremities, like, you know, even people that work on upper body, like weightlifters, or, you know, like field athletes, people that throw the discus, the guys that do like, you know, like the pole vaults and the javelin throwers?
So most common for endurance runners, and then people who are upping their upper extremity workouts significantly. So like some of the case reports have been people who did like 500 squats in one day, they got rhabdo, or 400 push-ups in one day, they got rhabdo.
Now that's like Navy SEALs level stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you have somebody that's motivated and they're going to do it multiple times throughout the day, you can get fairly normal people to get some pretty high numbers thrown down on push-ups.
Okay.
It's not all at one time. It's the whole day.
Okay. Is it more common here on Guam, as you say, because of our climate, because of the humidity? I mean, you know, we're lucky because as athletes, we're always taught hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Our friends in the military, you know, they drill that into you literally and say, I'm going to ask you a question. If you get the question right, you hydrate. If you get it wrong, you hydrate twice. So it's kind of ingrained in us, but
good,
you know.
Good. I haven't seen cases here, but I've been outpatient medicine here rather than inpatient medicine. And a lot of those folks are going to show up at the hospital kind of delayed. Most of us athletes, I was an athlete before myself, you're kind of trained to blow stuff off and ignore it, unfortunately. So you tend to wait those couple days and then go, well, shucks, now I can't even walk. I'm going to go to the hospital and find out what's wrong. And you go to the hospital and find out you've had rhabdo for the last 3 days. And now you need admitted and really aggressive treatment to save your kidneys.
Okay, so I thought it was maybe people that aren't in shape pushing themselves too hard and everything, but as you said, it's more common in elite athletes. So people like on the national team, people getting ready for the Olympics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the way the literature portrays it, is that it's more common in very active, very athletic people. They also note that eccentric muscular movements tend to potentiate it more often than concentric, and allow me to explain that. Eccentric movements are when the muscle lengthens against the force. So if you're going down on a push-up in a very controlled manner, that's an eccentric movement. A concentric is when you're contracting to push yourself back up. With that eccentric movement, you get a little less blood flow, but a lot more force. So it's essential for training for exercises, so I'm not suggesting avoiding it. I'm just saying they've noticed that the more eccentric movements you do, the more likely you are to get rhabdo.
Okay, and does rhabdo favor or discriminate between people of different age demographics or people of different ethnic groups?
No. If anything, a little more predominance in men than women, I think, because we're less smart than they are.
Okay, yep, that's absolutely true. Yeah, we tend to just go as hardcore as we can, but take care of your bodies and everybody, and take it from Doc. You want to hydrate as much as possible.
Yeah, just be aware you can also overhydrate.
And that's from a marathon runner too.
Yeah. You can also overhydrate. Make sure you are getting some salts in there so you don't mess up your sodium balance. But hydrate. It's hard to overhydrate. Also, thirst is a very poor indicator of your hydration status. By the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So you should be drinking before you're thirsty.
Okay, Doc, we always appreciate it, man.
My pleasure.
Thank you for the insight.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, hydrate.
Merry Christmas.
Let's go get a glass of water.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Health Check is brought to you locally by Island Cancer Center.
All right, my friends, that's all we have for Health, Home, and Lifestyle on this Tuesday. Be healthy, Guam. Catch Health, Home, and Lifestyle every Tuesday following KUAM News Prime Time. We've got you covered with health and lifestyle news each Tuesday on the stations of KUAM and our digital streaming platforms. Health, Home, and Lifestyle.